Track success and discard failure. This is the heart. It's so surprising. I tried to give it to Lauren. This is the heart of the work that I did for 20 years before I started working with Coralus. And that is what's called an asset focus. And it's asking yourself and the other person to understand what's working and how to do more of that rather than look at what's not working. And even if it's only one time, so they come to the call and they go, well, I tried that and I was a complete failure. And I said, well, okay, well, was there any time that it actually worked? And they go, well, yeah. I say, well, then we look at the conditions under which that was successful and how they could reproduce those conditions again. Or sometimes we just get disconnected from our own resources of how we've done something in the past. And I say, well, have you ever done this well? Has it ever worked before? And then the light goes on and they go, oh yeah, well, it was, yeah, when I was, it was a year ago and I did this and that or the other thing. And so it was like, okay, how do we reproduce that? I always say the brain, it's easier for the brain to do something that's already done than to learn something new. So always starting with what has already worked and how do you do more of that? Often that is, I'm talking about it in terms of the I, so the person themselves, but this is true for the business too. What's working and how do we make more of what's being successful rather than our notion of what we're, quote, supposed to be doing. Deprogramming ourselves and our thinking is a huge piece of what we're supporting when our ventures in. It's like, well, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to scale. You're supposed to, okay, well, what's working in the business and how can you do more of that, regardless of what you think the idea of what you're supposed to be is.
Also, not only tracking success, but checking in, what does success look like now? Mm-hmm. Because often it's letting go of what the success was 5 months ago and actually allowing your client to evolve their definition of success and what is true for them as they're moving on their journey.